You know your eyes have been a little red lately?
Yeah, I've been smoking a lot of pot.
Okay. Do you have a busy lifestyle? Do you have a busy lifestyle? If you only have a few time slots available each week to get those workouts in, we've got you covered today.
Today we're going to discuss the most efficient way to get a workout in if you're short on time.
We're also going to talk about what you shouldn't be doing and the biggest mistakes that people make. So, stick around.
As you know, I'm Victor.
Julian.
And we're here in the heart of Miami Lakes.
Best place on earth.
Be Fit, Miami Lakes. Right in front of La Vaquita with our people in the back. There's a dog maybe.
The best of peoples.
Oh my God, I'm so busy. I have all these things to do, and I have to get my kid, and then I have to go to work, and then I have to do my chores, and then I have to go to the dentist's office, and I have no time to do anything.
No,
what do you expect from me?
Well, you know, that's society these days. Seems like everyone's busy. That's just the way it is. Especially, I'd say, after you're like, if you're those who go to college, after you go to college, or after you get your first job, or you're into your career, you start having kids, life just becomes hectic for most people.
I feel like it's kind of become a competition too, like, oh, I'm busier than you. Like, how you doing? Oh, busy. Like, I mean, it's gotten to one that I'm not busy, and I'll say I'm busy.
I wouldn't say a competition. It's more of like you default to busy.
Oh, busy, you know. Oof.
Like if you're not really paying attention, you will end up just being busy. And that's, of course, we're talking about like productive members of society.
You can be busy doing nothing.
She's happy. I like to see happy people. As a side note, I don't know about you, but I personally don't know any parent, like person who used to work out and then they ended up having kids and now they're just as consistent after the kids. I personally don't know any. It's almost like it becomes so difficult once you have everything else going on in your life, and then also you have to raise kids, and then you have to keep up with your workout schedule. Most people have a job.
You, dude. Fine, you.
Yeah, but I work in a gym, so it's cheating because I'm a trainer.
No, but I agree. It's a very difficult thing to find, and even if they want to do it, the ones that we see trying, you see them canceling more than usual
all the time.
It gets very difficult.
Yeah, even the ones that were super consistent, were always like workout people, fitness people, they struggle. It's just hard.
Some parts of it are just out of their control, whether you try to set it up and your kids are sick or something happens with the kid, or something with the kid lingers on and then you have to catch up with work. Like, all these things pile up. So yeah,
I think another common situation is let's say you were a fit person in high school, you played sports or something like that. Maybe you continue that in college, maybe not. But then as soon as you get out of college and like adult life starts, all of a sudden it's on you. It's not like you have those resources available to you necessarily, so you have to go a little bit out of your way to make that happen. And I feel like at least a lot of the consultations that we do, it's like, hey, I used to be fit, and then I kind of let myself go.
Used to be fit, yeah. Yeah, that happens all the time, and it's just hard. And I think that over time, you don't realize like, oh, I haven't worked out in like 3 months. That's how usually the consultations come to us. They're like, I used to work out all the time, and then things just happen, and I haven't gone to the gym in like 6 months.
It's not like a conscious thing of like, I'm gonna stop working out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna put the gym on the back burner. No, like nobody does that on purpose. These things just happen. So we're gonna try to help you guys see how we can work with your schedules and also get you fit at the same time.
And like we've mentioned before on this podcast, the good news is that you don't need a lot of time to see results, to stay fit, to get fit, to see progress. But you have to be efficient with it. And that's what we're gonna dedicate the rest of this podcast talking about. So let's say you are one of these busy people. How should you be thinking about, all right, I have this little bit of time, how can I fit exercise in? And if so, what type of exercise? So I wanna talk about first, like more from a broad perspective, what the thought process is. And the first thing you would need to do, it might seem obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people don't do it, is review your goals, like have a goal. Having a goal is important.
Yeah, that happens all the time, and you ask people, and they'll give you like a general goal of what they think you're supposed to say. Like,
I need to be in shape.
I need to be, yeah, like
round is a shape.
That's not a strong enough goal
at all.
You need something specific to yourself, and you need, preferably, we always like to say like a short-term goal, and then a broader like long-term goal. So really sit down and think about both of those, preferably. So you can have something small to shoot for, and then something bigger that we're always.
And the reason why you do that is it's important. If you have all the time in the world, it's important. If you don't have time, it's more important, because what you dictate your little bit of time and energy to is going to be very specific to what that goal is. So if your goal is to run a marathon, I would hope that you're using most of your time to run, and not doing something else completely unrelated to that. That being said, regardless of the goal, there are foundational principles that I think everyone should keep in mind. And to make it really simple for you guys, let's break it down into just two categories: strength training and cardio. You have to at least try to fit both of those in some way, somehow, when you're thinking about developing your exercise program.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are guilty of choosing which one they like more. I know I certainly am.
For sure, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about like common mistakes.
I thought they were gonna talk about me. I was like, shit, again?
We always talk about you. Perfect segue, actually, because we're gonna discuss like common mistakes that people make, and I'm guarantee you some people watching or listening are making some of these mistakes or have made them in the past. So first one, you just said it. I like to run, so I'm only gonna run. What's the problem with that?
You're completely neglecting one of the main aspects of fitness, which is the strength training aspect, especially if you're, I mean, for any reason.
For anyone.
If you're getting older, if you're overweight, everything, for everyone.
For sure. Yeah, or vice versa. Us, the meatheads, like we'll pick strength training and weight training over cardio all day.
I'll pick calisthenics over almost anything.
For sure. I'm actually guilty of that right now, where my life has been very busy, and the first thing that I neglect is my cardio. I still try to squeeze it in once a week. I just did some right now before this podcast, but that's the first thing. I won't skip my weights. I'll never skip my weights, but that's for me the thing that just, you know.
I'm guilty too. I've told myself for the past month, I'm gonna start running again, and I'm like, it's just so hot. It's raining.
It's tough to run in the summer in Miami.
It's raining, this and that. Like, it's just it's so easy to excuse the things you don't like, to put those aside.
And then you can imagine how hard it is if you only have 2 hours of the week, and you know, you can go for a few runs and boom, I got my fitness in. But when you don't like something, it's a little bit hard to, I also don't have time, so I'm gonna get my run in because it's what I know and like, but I don't really have time to, you know, in your head to rationalize that you don't have time to do the other thing that you don't like but is equally important. The other common mistake is dedicating time, your precious little time, to insignificant things.
And what would you consider insignificant?
Something like, let's say you only have 2 days a week, 45 minutes to exercise or go to the gym. And you do
arms and abs.
No, forget that, abs and ab circuit, a 20-minute ab circuit.
Hell yeah.
It's like, fine, if you have 6 days a week, you want to dedicate some time to your abs, but there's so many more things you could be doing with that time, which we're going to discuss in a second. But you know, to have a whole 20 minutes on just one little muscle group, which by the way is not going to burn the fat that's sitting on top of your abs.
What?
Let's bust that prevailing myth.
Damn.
So other things that, this is gonna be a controversial one, but stretching, like if you don't have time to do strength training and cardio, but you're stretching, it's not as important as people might think. You need to get that training in. Training is what's gonna give you the biggest bang for your buck. So don't neglect cardio and strength to stretch. Another one that I would say is something that's great for your health and for mental health, but it's not a fitness tool, which is walking, right? If you're morbidly obese, going for a walk is a workout. If you're not, it's not a workout. It's just something you do for health, just general overall health.
Yeah,
it's not
wellness,
fitness.
Yeah. Going back to the stretching, I'd say people could just incorporate that with their strength training. Like, if you're gonna do a set of squats, do a squat and then some hip cars. If you're gonna deadlift and then add some like cat-cow, maybe some child's pose after. Like,
but people remember, people don't think like you, a trainer that's like seasoned. They don't know what the hell hip cars are.
That's what I'm trying to give these lovely people some advice. You can always incorporate the stretching or mobility into your strength
routine. Which is what we would recommend. It's like, hey, you feel tight, 5 minutes after your workout, you can do some of these stretches, but don't like neglect the training to stretch.
Exactly.
And then another one that might surprise people is splitting. Let's say you are doing weight training because you like to weight train, but then doing like what we would call a bro split, which is like a bodybuilding thing where you're working on one muscle, like glute day or chest and tris. It's like if you have 2 days of the week to work out and one is glute day and the other one is chest day. First of all, what happens when you miss one? Now you're literally only training glutes for that week. Second of all, you're neglecting a bunch of muscles. And then third of all, you're doing the muscle one day and then you're waiting a whole week to do that same muscle again. Yeah. So, which is why we're about to talk about it, but one of our solutions is total body or full body workouts.
Yeah. If you're limited on time, we have clients sometimes usually our clients come 2 to 3 times a week. If for whatever reason our clients have to cancel one of those days, they can only come 2 or they can only come 1, we'll try to make those 2 or that 1 as much bang for your buck as possible. So we'll hit legs, we'll hit some upper body, and obviously with proper rest, but we're just trying to have people do like cover every base basically.
Yeah, it makes sense when you tell somebody, but they don't think like that you got to cover all your bases. If your time is limited, just cover all your bases, hit all the muscle groups. That way whenever you do get in for a workout, you're not neglecting anything. Everything is making progress. You get out just so much more bang for your buck.
Yeah, and shameless plug. That's why we're here at the classes that we do, the small group classes that you're seeing behind us. We try to incorporate every muscle group. That way, if a client does miss, hey, at least you got your upper body and lower body.
You come in the next day and you're still hitting all those muscle groups. Yep. Otherwise, if it was just like one muscle per day, if you missed Monday, I missed legs for that week, for that whole week.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Nope.
So the first one we already heard about, which was the total body workouts. I'd say for general population, especially busy people, total body workouts are king. That is what everybody should be doing. I firmly stand by that. And that's not just us saying it, research backs that up. The research shows that you should be working for optimal progress and building muscle and strength. You should be working every muscle group at least twice a week. So twice a week is what we try to do with our personal clients, and of course with our group classes, we do even more than twice a week.
Yeah, you come every day. I mean, it's what's optimal for strength and for hypertrophy and muscle building, for everything.
And it just makes sense because if you think about what training is, it's stimulus to a certain muscle group, and then you want frequent stimulus so that the muscle can like get it together. Hey, I'm supposed to get stronger. I'm supposed to get bigger with all the stimulus. If you wait too long, there's just not as pronounced an effect.
It's like when you're going to school and let's say your teacher is teaching you some sort of math. Let's say like you're in middle school and they're doing algebra. You learn it the first day. If you miss the next 2 days or you're sick or whatever, by Thursday you don't know what the hell you're standing.
For sure.
They've gone so ahead. So it's similar to the muscle.
It's a good analogy. I never thought about that.
Thanks. Just came up with it.
One thing that I think every adult needs to be.
I'm sorry.
Why?
I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe it's a pimple on the nose. I don't know.
One of the things that I feel like every adult needs to know, at least a little bit, is time management. And time management is a skill. You can learn how to become better at it. If you really want to dive deep into this, there's somebody called Newport. Look him up. He's written a bunch of books on this. He has a blog, and he's a big proponent of what's called time blocking. So he has a journal where you can actually have like all the times of the day, and then you can block each time exactly as it sounds like. Now, you don't have to be that extreme, of course, but it does really help to organize yourself and make sure you get everything done. And it's not as restrictive as people might think, because you can open yourself up to scheduling time off and playtime, whatever time you want to do, leisure time.
Playtime. I mean, I'm a big fan of playtime, so that sounds good to me.
What kind of play do you like?
Butt play. But the thing is that okay, and I'd say it's the biggest misconception that people have nowadays. Like, they're super busy in their mind, and yeah, of course you're busy because you have a lot of things to do, but you're also busy because you're not managing your time well. You're taking 3 hours to do your morning tasks. Like, it'd take you 1 hour if you weren't doing this and then checking your Instagram reels and doing this and going on WhatsApp. You know what I mean? Like, if you have your proper time, like when I get home, I put my phone on do not disturb. If I'm about to work, I'll put it to the side. That way it's not distracting me with little flashing lights and all that stuff.
For sure, you nailed it right there, and that's honestly the elephant in the room when it comes to why we're so busy. We're all distracted. Our attention is completely fragmented these days, and if you don't grab a hold of that, then you could be spending twice as long on your tasks that you need to be, and you may not be doing it as efficiently as you could because you're constantly being interrupted with notifications from your phone. So I feel like if you're not putting your phone away or on silent when you're trying to do something important, then you're really just taking much longer to do it.
And it happens to me. It's happened to me some days that I'm like, I had 2 hours, which in my head was plenty of time to do this thing. The 2 hours passed and I haven't finished. I'm like, what the heck have I been doing? What gives? And I realized it's because I suck at time management.
Because I suck. Pause.
Period.
The other thing that we briefly touched on was making sure that you get your strength and cardio in. So let's say you only have 2 days of the week, an hour each day. What I would do is something like 30 to 35 minutes, strength training, weight training, something like that, followed by 30 minutes or so of cardio, steady state, or high intensity training. And you could do that both days. That way you're getting each format of training at least twice a week. And
you said strength before cardio. Does that matter at all, or is that you just said it like that?
It does matter, and I would recommend people do strength training before cardio. For the average person, it's not that big of a deal, but when it comes to from a physiological standpoint, you're using a lot more fuel, you're using a lot more stored fuel to not complicate things when you do weight training. And then cardio you can kind of do on an empty stomach. It's a little bit easier on the body. So I would always do the weight training first.
Agreed.
If you are going to do them.
You see a lot of people doing it the wrong way because they're like, oh, I'm going to warm up on the treadmill, and their warm up will be like 25 minutes. So technically you're getting into their cardio, and then they'll do the strength training. So I think, yeah, like you said, do the harder thing first, the more demanding thing first, which should be strength training. And if it's not, then you're not strength training hard enough.
Yep, agreed. So let's say we talked about 2 times a week. Let's say you have 3 times a week. Now you have a little bit more flexibility. You could do 2 weight days, 1 cardio. You could do, 2 days where you're doing hybrid, like I just explained, and then the 3rd day you can do whatever you want. But just make sure that when you look at your week, you're getting your strength and your cardio in. Another important point is, and every fitness person talks about this, consistency over intensity. It doesn't matter how hard you train. If you're only training once every 2 weeks, what's more important is train more frequently, even if you're training with less intensity. Just pick something that you can do 2 times a week, 3 times a week, but do it consistently for a long period of time. It's much better than what most people, I would say, do. It's they go hard, they train really, really hard for a week because they got their vacation, and then they slack off for 2 weeks and they come. It's like, you're not gonna get any results that way.
Yeah, you're going on that roller coaster ride, and you'll notice it. It's also safer. It's better for injury prevention to just be consistent, stay on top of what you can do, and you're going to see your strength increasing. You're going to see your muscles building. I think it's much better than to go hard and then kill yourself one day, and then what are you really seeing after that? You're going to be super sore, but that's another thing. People chase that soreness, and I don't think that's as important as they make it out to be.
Well, the big danger there is that you're trying to build habits, like you all know. So you don't build habits by doing something every now and then. It's like every Tuesday and Thursday, I work out at this time. You do that for long enough, before you know it, that's ingrained in you. Yep. Tuesday and Thursday morning, wakes up, you're gonna put your clothes on, go to the gym, or whatever you're gonna do. So it's telling your body and training yourself, and that's what consistency is all about. Use the weekends.
No.
I know.
No, that's not happening.
For some reason, people think that weekends are like off limits when it comes to working out. But I would say that's when you have the most time, and you can easily replace 30 minutes of scrolling on TikTok with a 30-minute workout.
But I have so many reels to watch.
True. You ignore all the ones people send you, though. Huh? These guys know what I'm talking about. Anywho, the other cool unintended consequence about working out on the weekends is if you have a workout schedule for Saturday morning, you're more than likely not going to go out on Friday night. So that means you're sleeping more, no hangover on Saturday, saving money. So there's a bunch of unintended benefits to working out on the weekends.
Yeah, let us go out on Friday night and show up hungover, not you guys.
Exactly. Save that for us.
Yeah.
The real professionals.
Exactly.
Hava, you want to come in and make an appearance? Come on. Just do it. Just do it.
Oh, no.
Your biggest tip. We're talking to a productivity expert here and a barnacle cleaning extraordinaire, Hava. And she's going to tell you guys her biggest tips for never skipping workouts.
Oh my God,
awkward parts.
I don't know.
What's
To be strong and powerful.
Strong, powerful, independent woman.
Okay.
Hava, everyone.
That's Hava, strong, independent. Good job, Hava. So with all that being said, guys, we're all busy. I'm super busy, and somehow he's busier than me, and then Molly's busier than both of us. So everybody's busy. It's a never-ending circle of busyness. So just make time, be consistent, be smart with your workouts, and try to use those weekends. I know it hurts, but try to use them up.
Yeah, it's not as bad as you think. So you get used to it.
It's pretty bad, but it'll get better. With all that being said, au revoir from us and Molly and Hava, who you guys just met.
Au revoir, Molly. Au revoir.
Au revoir, mon chéri.
Put her out a little
drink
more.
your water. Go drink. Drink it.
What'd you put in there?
Poison.